The first focus would be to find a way to regain the trust of the regulators, because regulators have concerns about the integrity of the data coming out of RANBAXY facility, and it will be our first focus to find a way to resolve this issue at a fundamental level, where we will try and understand why people manipulate information, whether there are any external levers which put that pressure. Then we have to solve those problems. The idea is to allow people to perform. Everybody wants to do well. We want to give that opportunity to people.
You have indicated that over the next 3 years, $250 million of synergy will come in because of the merger. A lot of people believe that it can be even come in much earlier. What is your game plan in this synergy? How do you plan to do this?
So I think the most important synergy is synergy of growth. If you see RANBAXY as a company over the last few years has not been growing in line with the markets. Our focus will be to find a way to ensure that all the businesses of RANBAXY grow faster than the market. We will put in place appropriate processes so that the investments required to grow the business will be available for all the businesses.
Okay, over the past few years, what we've seen is that for RANBAXY, except for India, most of the other markets have not been doing well at all. Do you think that there was a problem in which the way the company was managed currently, and what does Sun Pharma intend to do about this?
I will not have a clear understanding of why company hasn't done well, but I think our philosophy of managing the business is to run the company entrepreneurially, empower all the performing managers so that they can take the decision in the way so that company and the businesses under their control grow faster. We believe that by empowering and by giving appropriate authorities to people, everybody finds a way to succeed.
Okay, you've spoken a lot in your presentation about the rest of the world markets, the emerging markets. Now currently RANBAXY has a much bigger focus on the ROW markets rather than you. How are you preparing to brace yourself for newer markets now, and how would you go ahead with this plan that you spoke about in the press conference earlier?
I think emerging markets have their own challenges, and each of the market is different from the other market. Opportunities in each of the market also sometimes may be different from the other market. So we have to understand the challenge of individual market, solve those challenges so that you can succeed. But the underlying growth engine for every company and in all geographies will be to get approval for innovative or products ahead of competition. So that's where productivity of R&D, ability to develop differentiated product will help the company.
Now, you also spoke about, getting margins of RANBAXY up. That was part of your synergies from current 8% to probably 18%. Now, will this be driven by a cost containment or probably growth? What is the strategy that you are adopting right now?
I think it will be both. On one side, we will find a way to grow the business faster, and at the same time, I think how can we achieve the same outcome with lesser investment.
Okay, recently, one SPARC got an approval for one of the products which Sun Pharma will manufacture from the Halol facility. Can you confirm to us whether all the issues with the Halol plant are over now? And what role will SPARC now play in the merged entity of Sun Pharma and RANBAXY?
Beyond that, we got the approval from the facility at Halol. I have nothing additional information to be shared with you. My understanding is that you generally get an approval for a facility if it is in compliance. But as to, I think, SPARC and Sun relationship, SPARC has given the license of first refusal to Sun for all its product in emerging market, and that will continue even for the combined entity.
You spoke a lot about R&D. You even spoke about increasing the R&D spends. Now, how do you see synergies at the R&D level, given the fact that there are multiple markets to focus and possible overlap in some Indian markets and some parts in the United States?
So I think both between Sun and RANBAXY now we will have more than 2,000 people working in R&D, and we will have in Sun R&D centers in Israel, Canada and US. So I think we will find a way, because of this large number of scientists in different geographies, we will have ability to develop markets, products for all the markets.
So one thing that the analyst community always likes about Sun Pharma is that you operate at a very high margin. Now Taro is one of your important companies which gives a lot of margin. Now with RANBAXY coming in, which is a very low margin product, low margin company currently because of certain issues, how do you see margins going ahead and how will you maintain margins? Will price hike at Taro, which have boosted margins, that has to stop at one point of time. So how do you see the combined entity in terms of operating margins?
I think the solution for margin is find a way to grow the business faster, because you are able to grow the business, your overall margin go up. You control costs effectively so that it will help you in improving your profitability and get more productivity of all your assets.
See, Sun Pharma as a company, the base has grown so wide. Now, if you want to grow at the same rate that you were growing over the past few years, you need acquisition. And probably, what is your view on acquisitions? How would you go about acquisitions? And does Sun Pharma have the bandwidth to actually go in for, let's say, a $10 billion acquisition, if indeed you want to reach the level of the global peers? You are currently at number 5 and you probably want to go much ahead. So what is the scale and your view on acquisitions?
So first of all, I think I want to clarify that its size doesn't excite me. So we will never do acquisition for sake of becoming bigger. All acquisitions that we will do, we should be confident that we should be able to manage and create more value than the company is able to create today, because otherwise you cannot justify the acquisition premium. And I don't want to get into a situation where just to what you call grow the business, we have to find a way to acquire a business. I think it's important for us to ensure that all our businesses grow organically quite well, so that we can be selective about acquisition and we don't need to be pressurized into doing an acquisition.
But would Sun Pharma ever consider acquiring a company which is much bigger than its size, probably to gain that bandwidth in the markets currently?
It's a very hypothetical question, so difficult for me to answer. Because all acquisitions, you have to look at product, market, opportunity of growth of the product. And as I explained, we should be confident that we should be able to run that business better than the present management is. So difficult for me to answer.
And the final question, for all the shareholders, for all the investors who are invested in your company, what is your 5-year vision for Sun Pharma? Where do you see Sun Pharma 5 years down the line?
It's difficult for me to answer. I think my focus is that year after year our businesses should grow faster than the industry. We generally give a 1-year guidance, and I think our strategy is to ensure that we achieve our guidance. 5 years I think is a long time and difficult for us to predict where we will be. But hopefully we will be in a much better place than what we are today.
Well, we wish you all the best. We hope you be in a place which is much better than you are currently. Thank you, sir, so much for speaking to ET Now, and congratulations on the RANBAXY.
Thank you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.